Hello, I'm Valerie Miller, the Director of the Office of Student Financial Aid and Scholarships at Ohio University. Thank you all so much for joining us today. We understand that these days, making an investment in a college education represents a significant undertaking for most families. Let me assure you, when you choose the excellent value of the Ohio experience, your investment is a wise one, and the returns last forever. We're proud that U.S. News & World Report included Ohio University on its list of best value schools in 2022, and Forbes listed us as one of America's best value colleges in 2019. Before our financial aid presentation begins, I'll take just a moment to highlight a few important updates and focus on some of our helpful programs and resources. Our Ohio Excellence Awards, our primary scholarship program for first-year students, is composed of awards designed to recognize the resilience, accomplishments, and diverse contributions of the fall 2022 first-year class. This recently expanded program underscores Ohio's commitment to support our students from admission through graduation and beyond. Scholarships through the Ohio Excellence Awards program are still being awarded each week, and we're continuing to consider newly admitted students as availability permits. Additionally, I hope by now that you've been introduced to our Ohio Guarantee, part of the Ohio Guarantee Plus. The Ohio Guarantee is our fixed tuition and fees guarantee that ensures your direct costs will stay constant from year to year. We walk the walk on our commitment to affordability, predictability, cost transparency by providing you level rate tuition, housing, dining, and most fees locked in for 4 years. This was the first program of its kind when we introduced it to the state back in 2015, and while other institutions have followed our lead, Ohio is still the most comprehensive guarantee today. And now through the Ohio Guarantee Plus, we're taking that a step further, continually expanding access to our individualized on-time graduation plans and alumni-only scholarships for continuing education, as well as career counseling for life. Now, even if you get overwhelmed in this process, I want to emphasize that you're not alone on this journey. We're here to help you and your family navigate the path to fund your education, and we will be here every step of the way. Our team in the Office of Student Financial Aid and Scholarships is composed of more than 25 caring staff members, many of whom have at least that many years of experience, who've made a career of helping families plan, navigate, and pay for college. We're committed to supporting you and are dedicated to providing you the information you need to make the important decision to invest in an Ohio education. Our team is available by phone, email, and both virtual and in-person appointment, and we welcome your questions anytime. Whether you're just getting started on filing the FAFSA, there is still time, or if you want to sit virtually or in person with an expert to go over your offer and weigh your options. We are excited about what awaits you here at Ohio. Thank you for taking the time to join us at Ohio Gateway Day and for trusting us to help guide you through the financial aid process. With that, I will turn this over to my esteemed colleague, Melissa Van Meter, for important information on understanding your financial aid offer. Please stay with us.
Hello, my name is Melissa Van Meter, and I serve as Senior Associate Director of Operations in the Office of Student Financial Aid and Scholarships here at Ohio. On behalf of all of us in the Financial Aid Office, thank you so much for joining us here online for Gateway Day. We've all worked together to make this event a really useful and practical resource packed with helpful information for students and families. We know that the very words financial aid can sometimes be stressful, but at Ohio we strive to be just the opposite. Our team is friendly, accessible, and always here to help. We want to bring you easy to understand and transparent information so that you always know how much college will cost and all the options and resources available to you to help minimize your out-of-pocket burden. In this session, I'm going to share a 20-minute presentation called Understanding Your Financial Aid Offer. It's designed to do just that, to help you understand the details and benefits of what's contained in the financial aid offer you received from Ohio University. I'll help you better determine how much attending Ohio University will cost, when you should expect to receive your bill, how the Ohio Guarantee can help reduce uncertainty, and much more. Financial aid offers began being mailed in late February, If you have not yet received this letter, please email us at financial.aid@ohio.edu and we will be glad to assist you. This presentation will remain online so that you can access it at your convenience once you have your letter. If you have questions during or immediately following the live presentation, enter them into the live chat box and one of my trained team members will be happy to answer your questions. Please do not enter sensitive personal or financial information into the chat. Again, you can reach out to us anytime at financial.aid@ohio.edu and we'll gladly help you. And with that, I'll dive right into the presentation. Thank you for joining me today as I present Understanding Your Financial Aid Offer. What you're seeing are screenshots of a financial aid offer presented to our student Rufus Bobcat. This is a picture of the front page and back page of the financial aid offer, similar to what you should be receiving. In looking at the front page, I want to highlight some of the items displayed. First, we display to you estimated direct or billed charges. This is the annual amount you can expect to pay Ohio University. The next section is a gift aid breakdown, which shows you the annual amount of grants and scholarships offered to you, the student. The next section is self-help aid. This is the annual amount of loans and work study, if applicable, that the student has been offered. Next, we show the annual offered amounts and the applicable aid amount, and I'll explain what that difference means in a little bit. Finally, on the bottom of the first page of your aid offer, you'll see your out-of-pocket expense for the year at Ohio University. This is a picture of the back of the aid offer. This side of the aid offer shows you the total cost of attendance, which includes both direct charges as well as indirect costs. It displays your individual net price. It also lists some additional borrowing options and amounts. Finally, it shows the critical next steps that you, the student, need to complete. So first, let's take a look at the cost detail. So this section of your aid offer, which is the very first part that you see, lists several important items. There's a paragraph that describes to you the Ohio Guarantee and what that means in relation to your guaranteed tuition charges at Ohio University. Next, we actually show a breakdown of the direct or billed charges. The breakdown that you see is for the 2021-2022 year. These are the actual costs that freshmen who started with us last year paid in tuition, room, and board. These costs may change somewhat for students beginning in the fall of 2022. When those changes occur, we will send you an updated aid offer that clearly lists what amounts you can expect to pay. The cost detail section, as I mentioned, breaks down information about the Ohio Guarantee. The Ohio Guarantee, as Valerie previously mentioned, guarantees a single fixed rate for tuition, room, and board charges for 4 years. Our rate is comprehensive and includes most fees, beginning with orientation fees all the way to graduation fees. The Ohio Guarantee is for Athens and regional campus students. It's also for Ohio residents and students out of state. You can review the benefits of the Ohio Guarantee's fixed tuition and fees rates, as well as the entire Ohio Guarantee Plus program at www.ohio.edu/guarantee. Once tuition rates are finalized for students entering in the fall 2022, you can view those updated rates at www.ohio.edu/bursar/ohio-guarantee. Account balance notifications for fall semester will be sent on August 1st. These notifications will be emailed to the student's Ohio University email account. The student can authorize other individuals under the authorized user option. These authorized users will receive billing notifications and can log in to make payment. Financial aid must be finalized in order for that to show on the account balance. Due dates for the bills will be the 21st day of each month. Any amount that's remaining after the 21st day will have a 1.5% late fee applied to the unpaid balance. For more information, please visit the Office of the Bursar website. So let's take a look at the financial aid information on your financial aid offer. Financial aid is divided into two main groups, gift aid and self-help aid. Additionally, there are two columns listed on the financial aid offer. There's an annual offered amount, which is the total amount of aid being offered to the student in each category, and an applicable aid amount. This is the net amount that could be applied toward the student's charges. Gift aid includes scholarships and grants. We encourage students to log into their Ohio Student Center so that way they can review renewability criteria and enrollment information required to receive their scholarships. For example, students must be enrolled full-time to receive their scholarships. Grants are offered on an annual basis based on the FAFSA results. Amounts might be prorated if a student is enrolled less than full-time. Grants are automatically accepted for the student. Self-help aid includes federal work study, which is a need-based employment program. If the student's been awarded work study, they can select a position at the website on the screen. Students awarded work study will select a position and they'll be paid by bi-weekly paychecks based on the number of hours they work per week. These funds are earnings and are not applied to the student's charges. On the aid offer, you'll notice that for federal work study, there is a 0 in the applicable aid column because, again, work study earnings are sent to the student in a biweekly paycheck and not applied toward charges. Federal direct loans must be accepted by the student in the Ohio Student Center. Students also complete loan agreement and loan counseling. There is a loan origination fee that's deducted from the awarded amount, which is why the applicable aid amount is slightly less. Some additional information about federal direct loans. You might see subsidized loans on your aid offer, as well as unsubsidized loans. Subsidized loans do not accrue interest while a student is enrolled at least half-time. Unsubsidized loans do accrue interest. Subsidized loans are need-based, so not all students are offered subsidized loans. Additionally, they're capped at $3,500. Repayment on all federal direct loans begins 6 months after graduation, or if a student stops attendance or drops below half-time. So let's take a look at out-of-pocket expenses and net price. One of the things I pride myself in our financial aid offers is our transparency. So we want students and parents to know on the very first page of their aid offer what their out-of-pocket expense is going to be for the year. The out-of-pocket expense is the amount the student is expected to pay for the 2022-23 year. It's calculated by subtracting your applicable financial aid from your direct or billed charges. The applicable financial aid is both gift and applicable self-help aid. This amount does not include indirect costs such as books, transportation, or personal expenses. So again, when we're looking at the out-of-pocket expense, we're looking at those direct or billed charges, which include tuition and fees, and if a student intends to live on campus, the cost of a standard double room and a traditional 14-meal plan. Again, those are the direct charges that a student can expect to pay. The applicable aid is spelled out in the gift aid and self-help aid sections with a total at the bottom. And then we do the calculation for you in the sentence directly below where we tell you what that out-of-pocket expense will be for the year. So to summarize out-of-pocket expense, you can see we take the tuition and fee charges, we add residence hall and meal plan if a student's planning to live on campus, we subtract gift aid, and then we subtract applicable self-help aid to get the total out-of-pocket expense. So let's talk for a moment about cost of attendance. The cost of attendance on the financial aid offer is on the back page, and it's the total amount of all college costs, including those you'll be billed for by Ohio University, as well as indirect costs, such as books, transportation, and personal expenses. Total financial aid offered to a student cannot exceed a student's total cost of attendance. So what is net price? Net price is a little bit different. It subtracts only your gift aid from your overall total cost of attendance. This is different than your out-of-pocket expense. Again, this amount does include indirect costs such as books, transportation, and personal expenses, and only subtracts gift aid, which is grants and scholarships. So again, we have the total cost of attendance minus only the gift aid to give you a net price. Families might find net price important, so that way they can see what they will owe in regard to direct charges and indirect costs by only subtracting out the gift aid, which is grants and scholarships. When looking at your aid offer, you're going to be able to evaluate your out-of-pocket expense and determine if you'll need additional funding to assist with that out-of-pocket price. If you accept your federal direct loans, you will owe the out-of-pocket expense to Ohio University. If you want to borrow additional funds to cover indirect costs, that amount is also provided on your financial aid offer in the paragraph under the cost of attendance chart. If you wish to pursue additional loans, you could look into the parent loan for undergraduate students, which is commonly referred to as the PLUS loan. That loan has a parent as a borrower. The parent must be creditworthy or have a creditworthy cosigner. Repayment on PLUS loans can be deferred until 6 months after the student graduates, stops attending, or drops below half-time. Families may also pursue private loans. In this case, the student or parent could be the borrower. If the student chooses to be the borrower for a private loan, they must have a creditworthy cosigner. Families may choose to pursue a private loan. In this case, the student or parent could be the borrower. Student borrowers must have a creditworthy cosigner in order to borrow a private loan. Parent borrowers must be creditworthy or have a creditworthy cosigner. Repayment on private loans also begins 6 months after graduation. This chart can help you evaluate if a Parent Plus loan or a private loan might be right for your family. Again, for a parent loan, the parent is always going to be the borrower. They must be creditworthy or have a creditworthy cosigner. The credit check for a Parent Plus loan focuses on a parent's adverse credit history. The interest rate for the 2020-21 year was 5.6%, but changes every July 1. Repayment begins 60 days after the final disbursement, but can be deferred until 6 months after graduation. And the total loan amount can be up to the student's cost of attendance. Private loans can either have a student or parent as the borrower. A cosigner is needed for the student, but not for the parent if they're considered creditworthy. The credit check for a private loan focuses on a borrower's credit score and debt-to-income ratio. Rates can vary based on the lender and the borrower's credit, and interest accrues when the loan disperses. Repayment varies by lender, but typically begins 6 months after the student graduates. And again, the total loan amount can be up to the student's cost of attendance. When families are reviewing aid offers from Ohio University in comparison with other schools, we encourage you to look at the out-of-pocket expense, not necessarily the gift aid amount. Financial aid offers display annual amounts, so it's important to know that renewable scholarships a student can receive for all 4 years if they meet the renewability criteria. Financial aid will be divided over fall and spring semesters when applied toward a student's balance. Charges are also applied per semester. Let's take a moment to look at the Ohio Student Center. So this is a screenshot of the Ohio Student Center. All admitted students can log into the Student Center at the website listed on the screen. We're going to take a quick look at the to-do list and the finances section. Under the finances section, you'll see a financial aid subsection. In this area, you can view a student's financial aid and accept or decline awards. If you select View Financial Aid, you can then select the year 2023. Then you can see a breakdown of financial aid both annually and per semester. You can see on the screenshot below, it's an annual breakdown, where on the right you'll see fall and spring semesters separated. Again, students can select the Accept Decline Award option to view award information and make loan decisions. You can see that each financial aid item is a hyperlink. The student should select that to view award details and for scholarships to review renewability criteria. You can make loan decisions based on selecting the accept or decline checkboxes. So let's talk about some next steps. On your financial aid offer, we do have the critical next steps section. So you can look at that as a to-do list for yourself to make sure you're completing all of the action items to make sure your financial aid is ready. I also encourage you to visit our applications and deadlines page, which provides a calendar of items that students need to do and pay attention to. In summary, students should visit the Ohio Student Center, complete all action items on the to-do list, accept or decline loans as they desire, review award information. If the student chooses to take federal direct loans, they also must visit the studentaid.gov website and complete the loan agreement and entrance counseling. If a student's offered federal work study, they can go online to the website listed and search for and select a position. If you need additional payment options, you can visit our website. Here you can learn information about the monthly payment plan and also links to apply for a PLUS or private loan if needed. Thank you for joining me today. If you have questions now, you can enter them in the live chat box, and one of my team members will assist you and answer those questions now. If you think of questions later on, feel free to contact our office by email, calling, or stopping by Chubb Hall. Thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you this fall.